Okay. Welcome to our council meeting tonight. Please rise and sing the national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With flowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
To our own Tennille Towns for that great rendition of O Canada. I'm Deputy Mayor Wade Plott, filling in for Mayor Clayton as she's away on official council business, but is online with us tonight. So I'll do the land acknowledgement. The city
My apologies, Councillor Plott. We can't hear you online. Oh, now we can.
Okay.
There we go.
We're good. Okay. Maybe it was so loud in chambers with all that singing. I'm not sure. But the city respectfully acknowledges the Beaver, Cree, Dene, and Métis people as the original caretakers of the lands and surrounding areas. We're grateful to live, work, and play on Treaty 8 territory within Turtle Island and acknowledge these lands have been home to diverse and sovereign First Nations and Inuit nations since time immemorial. With that, I'll look for the adoption of the previous minutes, and I'll go to Councillor Flack.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Plott. I move Council adopt the minutes of the City Council meeting held February 17th as presented.
Thank you for that motion. Please vote.
Mayor Clayton in favor.
Thanks, Mayor Clayton. And that carries. And with that, we'll look for an adoption of the agenda. Councillor O'Connor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Plott. I move that Council adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you for that motion. Please vote. That carries. We'll go to item 6 on our agenda, introduction of new RCMP superintendent. I'll go to Chief Miller, please.
All right. Thanks, Deputy Mayor Plott. So today we have Chief Superintendent Adrian Marsden. If you can maybe just come up to the front here, please. So we just wanted to take an opportunity to...
Miller? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead and have a seat. Yeah. So Adrian Marsden recently arrived in Grande Prairie. So he's the district commander for the Western Alberta District for the RCMP for K Division, which is Alberta. And it's the northwest corner of the province. It's about 23, 24 detachments. And so we know the city of Grande Prairie is switching to city police, but we still have the RCMP in the community. The RCMP in the future will surround the city of Grande Prairie. So it's very important we maintain a relationship with the RCMP. So we thought we'd take the chance or the opportunity to introduce Chief Superintendent Marsden to council, and then let him introduce himself further and just about, I guess, maybe what the role the RCMP will play in the future as well as part of his brief talk with council today.
I appreciate that. Chief Miller, I think I might have called you Chief Lemieux, my apologies. And please go ahead. Welcome to the community.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes. So thanks very much, Your Worship and councillors, just for having me for a few minutes. I don't really have anything planned, but just figured I'd introduce myself. So my name's Adrian Marsden. I have about 33 years in the RCMP. I've sort of bounced back and forth between British Columbia and Alberta. So I did a lot of time in Burnaby, some of the larger detachments, Burnaby, around Surrey, North Vancouver, and fairly recently I was the OIC of the Langley detachment. And then I've been in Alberta for about 7 years. I ran the serious crime branch for a couple of years out of Edmonton. I was in another unit called Investigative Standards and Practices, where we kind of reviewed project files. And then I was most recently in the Integrated National Security Enforcement Team for a year. It's basically doing terrorist types investigations. And then I was just promoted in December to this position here. So very exciting for me. I'd never actually been to Grande Prairie before until about 5 months ago. So it's I was actually fairly pleasantly surprised. I gotta say, I wasn't sure what to expect, but it's great city, great place to live. Like I have to say, the amenities and the sports and rec centers are great here. So really enjoying it. I certainly don't have the big role of working as closely as Superintendent McDougall, but I do actually know a lot of the GPPS administrators. I actually was in the same building with the current inspector superintendent, and I met Chief Lacusta when I was in the alert building with the RCMP. So friends with a lot of these people. So I think we should have a good working relationship. We've already gone for coffee a few times, and we're getting along well. And it seems like the detachment's really actually assimilating well between the RCMP and the GPS members. So I've reviewed a lot of the files that we've kind of done together, which have involved a lot of the kind of rural detachments that I'll continue to supervise. So seems like we're off to a good start, and looking forward to it. And excited to be here. I wasn't sure if there was anything anybody was interested in knowing or whatever, but it's just I may see you in the future as we work together. So just want to let you know I'm here.
Appreciate the intro and welcome to our community in the region. It's great to have you up here. It sounds like you got a fairly impressive resume, so we're looking forward to working with you. I'll just go to the queue here, Councillor Berg.
Yeah, thanks, Deputy Mayor. First off, actually, how do I properly address you? You got Chief Superintendent, so I call you Chief Superintendent Marston? Chief or
you can.
Superintendent?
You call me anything, but
I want to call you.
I guess Chief Superintendent.
Okay,
is my
wonderful. So
rank.
Chief Superintendent, welcome to Grande Prairie.
Oh.
So moving forward, are you going to be based here in Grande Prairie and then eventually Claremont or the region, or just curious where you're going to be based? Because I love having somebody with your skill set in the region.
Yeah. So. We're certainly looking at things over the next few years I know kind of in the works of building a building for the Claremont space as well as the rural Grande Prairie members, as well as the forensic ident team, our dog section, which will still be remaining around here. And for the near future, we're still have our district office just located 5 minutes from this office. So for the foreseeable future, I think we're here for at least, I would guess at least 5 years, and then not much farther out than that. So definitely be in the area and working closely with your team here.
Wonderful, and again, welcome to the region.
Oh, thank you.
Councillor O'Connor.
Yes, thank you very much, Deputy Chair Palat, and welcome, Chief Superintendent Marsden. So what are some of your sports interests? You intimated that, so I'm curious, what are you volunteering at, and where would you fit in the community?
My sports interests. To be honest, I like snowboarding. Do that quite a bit, so it's a good area to live in for that. And I watch a lot of NFL football, actually. I'm a big Seattle Seahawks fan, and I'm not I didn't jump on the bandwagon. I had a hoodie long before they got into the playoffs. Want to make that clear. And then big Edmonton Oilers fan too. Actually, nobody's a Canucks fan, even if they live in Vancouver, which I did for most of my life. But I'm a big Oilers fan. Yeah.
Well, we all are, and welcome. I'm also a Seahawks fan. I've been watching them since 2004. So
awesome.
Glad they won. Thanks.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Well, definitely welcome to oil country because you're in it now for sure.
Yeah,
But,
thank you.
I don't see any other questions or anything, but I appreciate you coming in today and giving us a chance to get to know you. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Next, we'll go to our presentations for volunteer awards, and I'll just go to Ms. Bieberdorf to introduce, please.
Thank you, Chair Palat. Today we have the award winners for our George Repka Outstanding Achievement Award and the Bill Bowes Organization of the Year Award. They were previously awarded at a council meeting, but we have the recipients here today to receive their awards and take a quick photo. So I'd like to welcome Margaret Bowes and the Grande Prairie Charitable Firefighters Foundation.
Yeah. All right. Get up in the horseshoe here.
Bill Bowes needs to go over by the fire. And then wait, if you could just sneak in just a little bit closer there. All right, and look right at me. 1, 2, 3. Great
Congratulations to our award winners. Great work done in our community. Moving on, we'll go to our delegations. And our first delegation that put in their forms were for Maskwa Medical Center. So if the members from Maskwa Center Medical would just come up and introduce yourself, please, that would be great. Well, strangers, please go ahead and introduce yourself there.
Ken Drysdale, Chairman of the Board, Maskwa Medical Center.
On the side, and I am the Vice Chair.
So we're in today to talk about potentially backstopping a loan with Maskwa. And so I would just look to my colleagues if they had any questions or if there's anything further you guys would like to present today.
No further presentation, but we're happy to answer any and all questions.
Okay, so I'll start with Councillor Berg, please.
Yeah, actually, Chair, I would be comfortable, just for the sake of the people watching online that may not have context, if we could get a quick summary.
Okay, no, that's a good call. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, well, let's start at the beginning of the summary. Maskwa Medical Center is a couple of things. We're in front of you today because we've become the housing for the medical programs, NWP's residency program. So on the first floor of the building that we're constructing, we will house the medical residency program, full main floor. But where we began is an internal medicine specialist clinic, quarterbacking of patients through the system to get a quicker diagnosis and treatment plans in a shorter period of time. Right now, the region's kind of lost in that regard. Certainly, we have internal medicine generalists here who work very, very hard, and they spend their time in the hospital. When we get to see them, we're on a gurney. What we're trying to do is get in front of that, so when you see internal medicine specialist, it's the right one, and it's in a timely fashion, and you get a diagnosis quickly, and you don't end up on the gurney and in the hospital. Ken, you wanna do a better job of that?
You do a pretty good job, Ron. No, I think just so people understand, the ground floor is going to train residency doctors out into the community, 10 a year, once they're fully manned up, which will greatly help the region with the shortage of family physicians. And history shows that 70% of them will stay in the north if we train them in the north. The other is, like Rhonda said, the third floor, getting the team-based specialist clinic going in Grande Prairie. Our most recent history here, or data lately here out of Alberta Health, is around 20,000 individuals travel to Edmonton out of the northwest. And that's way far too many. Time away from work, not getting their diagnosis done on time. And some of those 20,000 are repeat residents from the area, but it's still time and delays.
It's something like 4,000 unique individuals making 5 trips, 5 times away from work, 5 times pulling your family away, 5 times staying in a hotel, 5 times traveling on that road back and forth. 40,000 trips on that highway.
And I think some of the misconceptions is really what we're about. We're a charitable, not-for-profit organization with the board of directors. They're all volunteers. There's no one profiteering off of this project out into the community. Any surplus funds that are recognized through tenancy or fundraising over the years will go right back into research and education in the Northwest and keep enhancing the health access for our residents of the area.
So it's not two-tiered healthcare. This is publicly funded healthcare. We're building a place for it to be housed and introducing a new model to the system to help the people of the region. There's no user fees. That's not what this is about. The building is meant to cash flow itself, to be self-sustaining. What we're here today to talk about is security for a construction loan, security for loans to get the building built so that we can get to a place where we are generating income.
And once the building is built, then we turn around, take a takeout loan with a lender, and it'll be financially supportive on its own with the tenancy.
Thanks for that intro. I do appreciate that. I'm just going to go to our councilors for questions. I'll start with Councillor Thiessen, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Palat. Thanks for being here, Ken and Rhonda. I really appreciate you and all the hard work that you guys have been doing pretty altruistically for the community and really stuck your necks out there. I know we were all looking forward to a big announcement at the budget from the province towards this project, either an intimation of that or whatever. And so far, we haven't really heard anything from that side of it. And there was nothing in the budget that detailed that they were going to fund this project and give you guys that security to continue the construction and finish the build. So my question for you two is have you continued to have those conversations inside the ministry with Alberta Health Services or the government of Alberta to see, even though it wasn't announced, if there's potential for funding fruition to come through the province still?
Yeah, we have as recent as last week and even today we have Chris, and we'll keep campaigning for that. We strongly feel they will fund us from the 2026 budget that they announced last week. I mean, we check all the boxes of what the Premier and them are, their mandates out there for health, and we really feel confident that we're in a line item somewhere to help us through construction and getting this building built.
Well, there wasn't an announcement that said, "Yay, we're gonna help fund this project." We have specifically not had a no. As late as 9 o'clock on Friday night, we've been in communication with our MLAs, who said it's not no, not yet.
Okay, so there's still hope. Yeah, yes. Not yet, but so there's still lots of hope.
Oh yeah, awesome. Absolutely. Probably not in one budget year, but probably over a series of them. So not in one lump sum. they're trying to find a way to make it happen.
Okay, that's good to hear. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Thiessen. Councillor O'Connor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Palat. Thank you very much. I am so impressed that you've taken the time to be able to identify an issue that is prominent in the North, and especially that it's available to all residents. It's not a two-tiered system, and that AHS is behind you for the funding for this, so it's not a penny out of pocket. So huge kudos, and I hope that we can see that for your opening date is the 27th, in 27?
Mid-27, June 27.
Okay, and I know you can, you'll make sure they're on time.
So far, it's looking promising.
Okay, good.
And just to be clear, Councillor O'Connell, it's not AHS that'll be in the facility. Our funding, that's coming through Alberta Health and the Health Ministry, and some may come from the capital infrastructure side of things within the province. We are going to be assisting Alberta Health Services over at the hospital. We've started to have some meetings with the leaders over there and seeing how our building can help support some of their needs that they don't currently get within AHS out of the province. So,
and one more. So also, thank you for that. And also, I'm understanding they're trying to get a restaurant and food services in there. Have you signed anyone up for that yet, or is that something?
No, we haven't yet. We wanted to make sure on the second floor that we understood how it was going to be utilized by the daycare and the pharmacy, and what would be left over, and then what is the best form of food service. And we are in discussions with a local restaurateur who does things a little differently, and I don't want to. I can't tell you. but we're hopeful that the space that we've allotted to them will be sufficient, and something sort of like a market. And
yeah, Rhonda and her team have done an excellent job of vetting through the proponents. We had quite a few for daycare and a couple with the pharmacy, and there's been quite a few in the restaurant. But because of its location and the clients we're serving, we're being very diligent. So,
okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Deputy Mayor Plott. I want to echo the sentiment of some of my colleagues in the sense of the incredible foresight that a group of community leaders from Grande Prairie have had to bring forward this project. This is innovative. It's problem solving. It's truly what Grande Prairie is known in its entrepreneurial spirit, and really in that as that reputation of getting things done. I do want to say, though, the support to date in regards to training of physicians and working with Northwest Polytech and the regional hospital from the government has been strong. However, this is really a missing piece. This capital ask to the province is extremely important. It's everything that they've asked for. It's in mandate letters of multiple ministers. It, as mentioned by Mr. Drysdale, ticks all the boxes to be a project that is proactive, is taking on addressing local needs and concerns, and it's really where the province should be looking and to invest money. And when you look at the scheme of what an expensive line item healthcare is on the provincial budget, the ask of this organization is extremely small. The municipal partners of the region, the county, the MD, Saddle Hills, ourselves, have seen the value in this and to date are doing what we can within our municipal parameters to support this project. That being said, I appreciate that as it's currently been put forward for co-signing on the construction loan, it has no financial impact in regards to taxpayers. It does take away some of our debt capacity, and to date, we've also have a loan to Maskwa. We've forgiven development and permitting fees. We've supported the business case from the early days, but the province really needs to be the next player to come to the table. And so I know you will keep pounding on those doors, as you can count on our support to continue to advocate for this. This project needs to get completed, and it needs to be with the partner of the province at the table. So thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for continuing to put your hands up to do great work in our community, and we will look to support you in your advocacy to get the province to be a financial partner in this. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mayor Clayton, for that succinct summary of what's going on and what we're here for today. And we are grateful. The region is grateful for the support this council has provided to date.
Yeah, thanks, Deputy Mayor. I was also just going to summarize for clarity. So you've already got a mortgage lined up at the end, and the same institution that you're working with is willing to give you a construction loan, but they just want some to know that there's somebody backing it. And so in this case, that would be a variety of municipalities. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's much like if we were putting up in our own work worlds, if we were putting up a building, we would need to secure that until it can cash flow itself. We'd have to secure it with another piece of property. But because this is a not-for-profit, a community-led initiative, we don't have another piece of property to secure it with. So the financial institution is requesting that the municipalities who have provided us some cash up front, some loans, that they step in and secure the financing until we are cash flowing.
Great. And so the ask today is not for a loan, just backing.
No, just security.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, just wanted to summarize that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Berg. Councillor O'Toole.
Yeah, thanks very much for coming in here. I remember at Center 2000, a number of years ago, when you brought this up, and I was on board back then, 7 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does one see a doctor in this new facility? Like, what would bring that person in, and how would they meet a doctor?
Well,
I know the answer, but we're on live TV here, so.
Yeah. Well, at two levels, Kevin. One would be the U of A teaching clinic on the ground floor. That's a walk-in clinic. They'll have a capacity to handle 15 to 20,000 walk-ins a year, which will take a huge pressure off of our emerge across the street in the new hospital. As you know, lots of people go and sit there for 6 hours just to have a common cold looked at. That won't happen once this building's open. To get to the specialist on the third floor could be a referral from your family physician or the walk-in clinic on the first floor, or we'll most likely have a helpline in case you don't have anyone from the outside to help you. So,
and they can leave here, see the doctor, and not have to pay. Alberta Healthcare covers all that, correct?
That's correct.
I know. Just wanted to clear some of the misconceptions out in the community, and I think we did a good job doing that.
Yeah, absolutely not two-tier.
Okay.
We've got some things to overcome in the region, and this is one of the ways we see overcoming it. We have a higher rate of, generally have a higher rate of chronic illnesses. We have higher mortality rate for those chronic illnesses, and we have a shorter lifespan by 3 years than people who live in Calgary. And those things aren't reasonable, and we're trying to address that. Because Alberta Health Services and Alberta Health haven't brought us the solution. That's what that's what Albertans do. It's what certainly people from the Peace do. There's a problem. We got to sort it out. Every farmer will tell you just got to fix it.
Absolutely. That's how Grande Prairie in northern Alberta was solved.
Yeah.
More patents up here than there ever was.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that information.
Yeah, Ken, Rhonda, and your whole board and your team, I mean, you guys have done an incredible amount of work on that getting this year. And I do appreciate the information you've given us as collective councils. There's a lot of good data in there showing us just how inequality some of the healthcare is up here, and I appreciate you being a driving force trying to get that working. So I do have a couple of questions, though. I'm curious on the loans. So if I understand everything will cash flow, but it's at 95% occupied. You're currently at around 70% occupied. We've got some time, but how confident are you that we're going to get this leased out in time so that this thing actually
very confident.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think by the end of the year, we'll have pretty well 100%. Excuse me. It's just we're currently in negotiations on the third floor for compensation of doctors and staff, which will take a little bit of time. We've most recently been meeting with them as late as last week, and they understand the urgency, so they'll be working hard with us. So it's a different model, so they got to try and build a kind of a new case for us. So
yeah, no, well, again, we do different things up in GP to get things happening, so I appreciate that. I also wanted to just follow up, fully understanding, and just for the community, so these 4 municipalities have put up some money. We're going to go ahead. You've got that to a certain stage. Now you're going to get a construction loan. What happens to those original 4 municipalities' monies? If I'm understanding that they kind of need to go off to the side, because I don't imagine the lender really wants them up there.
Well, one of the 4, it wasn't a loan.
Was forgiven.
It came as a donation, and we would ask initially that you take a second place on to the primary financing.
So there could be an option later day down the road when this is cash flowing for the other municipalities to try to get some of those funding back to get this project started in the community.
It certainly is possible.
Okay. Nope. I don't see anybody else in the queue, but I really want to thank you folks for coming in again today.
There's one thing, Councillor Piat, I'd like to mention is I'd like a shout out to those that have donated some funds since early last summer to the tune of about 2.7 million, I believe it is. That's community members, and a couple other communities outside of the area here, and just that's the type of stuff that's starting to resonate within the Northwest, and especially since we put the crane up in November, we're just getting calls daily, weekly of pledges to people to start funding this project. So we're just getting huge support. We've approached oil and gas stakeholders. That's in the works right now, and I think we'll see great success there in the next year and a half. A lot of the local groups and their teams have already put forth a fair number of sum of money for that. So I see it really picking up momentum through 25, 26, or 26 here now as the building comes up out of the ground. So
very encouraging if you're getting that kind of fundraising efforts already, and it's just with it just started. So hopefully more will come, and hopefully the province will step in at some point and help us out with this venture as well. Yeah. Absolutely. So thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. We do delegation business at the end. Okay. So I'm sure if you're not here, one of our admin would reach out if there was any business arising from this as well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Taking the time to see us today.
You betcha. Delegate today was the Grande Prairie Regional Tours Association. I think we have a few members for them. If you would, ladies would like to just come forward, get comfortable, introduce yourself. I think admin will help you with your slides as well.
Thank you, Council. I believe Katie will be getting the slides up on the screen there for you shortly. So my name is Jasmine Gravette. I'm the Grande Prairie Regional Tourism Association Executive Director, and I have our board secretary treasurer with me here today as well.
Just for fun, I'm Kate Potter. I'm the mayor of the town of Sexsmith and also sit as the secretary treasurer.
Yeah, and we're excited today to give you a recap of what we were up to in 2025 and what our plans are for 2026. So we'll start with the GPRTA funding. So for 2025, the City of Grande Prairie, as you know, provides some service agreements to GPRTA in lieu of the membership fee. And the total amount for that in 2025 was $206,300. No, that's not right. $206,317. Oh, math. And then there was also additional contributions for some other special projects that we ran throughout the year, totaling $29,500. So for a total contribution from the city was $235,817. So with funding from Travel Alberta in 2024, we did have the $60,000 back last year. We got back up to the $250,000 full contribution from Travel Alberta, and also have some income reflecting there for our business memberships. So one of the service agreements we have with the city is the provision of visitor information services run out of Centre 2000. In 2025, we did have just over 1,200 visitors come into the Visitor Information Centre, and 24% of those were from the Grande Prairie region. Our top 3 referrals made, the typical requests people had of us when they came in was primarily for logistics, then looking for outdoor adventure opportunities and culture and heritage. We had about 196, which was second place for the number of visitors from Alberta outside of the Grande Prairie region. 152 folks came in from overseas, 148 from other places within Canada, 136 from the United States, and we had about 149 specifically from BC, Saskatchewan, Yukon, and the Northwest Territories. We also supported a number of community events throughout the year. We participated with the Canada Day activities. We had a dunk tank for a community to participate with, and we had done a partnership with the Grande Prairie Live Theatre to kind of amp up that activation. We do a number of silent auction prizes and delegation bags for different community events throughout the year. So we had about 23 requests come through that we supported, and that ranged from sports groups to the Friendship Centre, United Way, the Music Festival. So lots of information sharing that way as well. We also continued our partnership with the Rotary on the bus tours, and we did partner with the city as well to use one of their buses, which was a significant advancement over the school bus that had been used previously. So we had 183 riders come through for a total of 25 trips, and a big mix of residents and visitors. We had people as far as Indonesia, I think, was the farthest anyone had traveled that had taken the trip, but we had folks from all over the States, Ireland, lots of diversity there, and it's a really great feedback on that tour as far as getting a better understanding of the region. We are also, sorry, Katie, you can stay here. I'll just speak to it. We are also looked at trying to do the activation at Centre 2000. So numbers have dropped as far as folks coming into the Visitor Information Centre, and I think it's primarily just because we're no longer on, the bypass specifically, as well as just the way people get information now is different. People do a lot more research online as opposed to going into brick and mortar places. So we really started to look at how do we make the Visitor Information Centre a destination in and of itself, so that people are coming in to experience that, and then the information given is kind of secondary. So we did post an expression of interest. We sent it directly to a number of different design agencies and things throughout the province, trying to get somebody with more knowledge about how we can better utilize the space at Centre 2000 to give us some insight on what those projects potentially could be. We didn't get any, submissions back, no proposals. So we're continuing to work with partnerships, different groups in the community, doing our own research to try and figure out what is the art of the possible of how do we really better reflect the opportunities in the region through some sort of activation at Centre 2000. So we are going to continue to pursue that, and I do anticipate we'll have something shortly. And the idea there is that we can give a little bit of a snapshot of what some of the experiences are, and then it's just that information where it's like, oh, I didn't know, and then they want to go and explore further as opposed to just coming in and finding out, get a map to move on somewhere else, like give a little bit more of a hook to get them to stay. On the marketing and promotion side of things, we did 8 major paid marketing initiatives. We did a digital marketing festival in partnership with Seekers Media, and we had a few different businesses from within the Grande Prairie city participate. We had Country Roads RV and 92 Bevco. We also did a fam tour with a high-profile social media influencer couple. They had a great time. We were able to send them out to Maskwa Park, 92 Bevco. They stayed at the Rotary Park downtown, Grain Bin Brewery, some of the galleries and things downtown. They did a lot of social asset development for us, and we were able to also share those back with the companies that they visited. We did a few different paid advertorials or ads with Global Heroes, which has a section within a number of newspapers within BC, as well as into Dallas. So we were really trying to promote multi-day itineraries within the region, so getting to thousands of people throughout BC, as well as into Texas as well, to really target those RV travelers who might be coming up on their summer vacations. We did a paid 3-day itinerary development with Travel 48. The vast majority of Alberta travelers are Albertans, so we got with that publication to get some information out across the province. And then we also did a big video development and investment with Rogers Sports and Media to get that streamed online across Canada. And that had some really great engagement rates. And we continued to participate in the Northern Sky Corridor and worked with Fraser Way RV, and they came up and developed an itinerary, again, going through the region and exploring some of the different assets this way before continuing on the proposed trail for the Northern Sky Corridor. So as a result of some of those activities, our website views doubled from 2024 to 61,000, just over 61,000 views. Our target for customer leads for the industry was 3,000 for the year, and in actuality, we reached 4,935 leads for our members. Based on the industry standard of 2.5%, our goal was to support 75 conversions for those businesses, and we reached more like 124. And we also grew our credibility quite a bit. So our goal was to increase our online following by 10%. We increased it by 82%, which I think speaks quite a bit to us becoming more of a trusted source of information for the region. And a good example of success on this type of online activation is our partnership with the Monkman Pass Society, or the Monkman Pass production. We help them quite a bit with some of the storytelling on the production that they have of their adventure through the Monkman Pass and some of the history around it. And as a result, they were able to sell out the Douglas J. Cardinal Theatre for one of their screenings in town here. So one example of a partnership this past year. A few of the other projects we did with support from the city was the Hospitality Mixer last June. It was a great way to showcase the strength of our local tourism industry in front of representatives from Travel Alberta and the Tourism Industry Association of Alberta. We also hosted the Northern Alberta Tourism Summit. It was a sold-out event with over 100 operators from the north and speakers from coast to coast. The overwhelming majority of participants felt more optimistic about tourism in the north as a result of the summit, and GPRTA received a 91% validation or a net promoter score as a credible source of information for tourism in the region. We were able to use that opportunity to engage senior representatives from Travel Alberta, and Peace River is going to take it on. So it's an initiative that's hopefully going to get a life of its own and circulate throughout the north to continue to build capacity and profile our region as a developing tourism destination. And GPRTA is remaining a steering committee member of that project. And another example of the ripple effect of that is with delegates coming to attend that Northern Alberta Tourism Summit. They were exposed to different assets in the region. Many of them weren't aware of some of the downtown vibrancy and things like that, and they've since reported that they've booked vacations to come back with their family in the summer. So good ripple effects from those types of things. Which leads me into the business and sporting event attraction strategy. So the city contributed $20,000 towards the development of that strategy. That was executed over the summer, and a report has been shared out with both city and county councils. We are starting to spearhead the business side of things. And it was a really great opportunity to develop better relationships on the sports side, the sport community. So we were specifically able to better engage hotels on what their experience is in hosting these different types of sport teams and how we can better assist in the experience both the hotels and the teams themselves have in planning these events. So we heard that there were some pain points and facilitated a bit of an introduction with Sport Connection to understand how we can work together to overcome some of those issues. Sport Connection is now developing a toolkit to help assist community groups in hosting these events. What are the pieces they need to pull together? Who do they need to reach out to and when? And just kind of formalize the process, make sure everybody knows who's available to assist and in what capacity. So I'm looking forward to that. 2026. So moving forward, we are tackling a few big buckets that were identified as kind of critical for us to be able to advance our destination development framework that was developed by Legacy Tourism. One of those is our community tourism pillars work. So we do have an RFP out right now, which has received really great response. It'll be closing shortly. To contract a consultant to come up and work across communities in the region to develop what those community tourism pillars could be, how we can monetize them, how we can pull those together into multi-day itineraries to work across the region and help with our marketing and promotion efforts. It'll also give us a lot of insight into what are the unique brands of our communities, but also what is the through line, what connects them so that we can really develop a concrete destination identity so that GPRTA can go out and better represent the region when we're doing business event attraction work and other marketing assets that we're speaking on behalf of the destination and less community centric. So it just would support kind of further regional exploration as opposed to one-stop shop type of activities. We are working right now to do quite a bit of research into tools and technology that can help us better make those retail conversions when people come in to do their shopping in the region. How do we get them to stay longer? So working in partnerships with our hotels and our businesses to develop more attractive packages that encourage overnight stays or weekend trips and things like that. And then, of course, the events, meetings, and conferences. So we have started full-blown taking on that bucket of work, which is really exciting. We've already attended some trade shows to represent the region, meeting one-on-one with destination planners. There are some opportunities that are only available to destination marketing organizations, like hosted by our programs. So we were able to go in on that and have one-on-one meetings with these event planners to talk more about all of the opportunities in the region. And the different facilities we have to host a whole suite of conferences or board meetings or retreats and things like that. Last week, I submitted our first proposal to host the, I know the acronym, CASC. It's spiritual wellness, basically. And they're looking for a place in Alberta to host their 2027 national conference. So we've submitted a bid, working in partnership with a number of different vendors, so hotels, venues, galleries, to really round out a cultural experience for them when they come. And if we are successful with that, it has a projected return on investment for about $500,000 of an economic impact for the community. So we're hoping to just do as many of those as we can. And we have spearheaded a bit of a committee as well to make sure that we're going after the types of business events that will really allow us to shine, reflecting the different industries that we have here, agriculture, forestry, natural gas, arts and culture, to make sure that we're bringing that expertise to the region so that there's better networking events and we can continue to advance our work in that space. I think that's everything from that slide. And then 2026 budget. So we are looking at ways of diversifying our financial model to continue sustainable growth of the organization. So we do have an application in with the NRED through the Ministry of Jobs, Economy, Trade, and Immigration. We should hear at the end of the month if we were successful on that. We did already receive confirmation that our budget was approved as submitted. So we are under consideration for a full $300,000 grant from NRED. And then that would support quite a bit of the branding and kind of visual identity pieces that we'll have to create after the new brand model is done. We also increased our municipal membership fees. All municipalities were consulted on this, and we received approval to increase from $250 per capita to $275 per capita. And then, of course, last week, there was the announcement with the budget that the Destination Marketing Fund legislation is being considered by Cabinet this spring. If it is approved, it is expected to go through a bit of a transition phase until the end of the year and launching effectively in January 2027. So we will work with our hotel community to design a model that works for our community of what that could look like. And how that GPRTA can be take a lead and provide a lot of the administrative support to execute that work. With respect to city funding, we have received confirmation that the lease agreement for visitor information services and the gift in kind space for our office space in the visitor information area at Center 2000 will continue for 2026, as well as the operating funding we received through the community group funding stream. With the depreciation of our space at Center 2000, that gift in kind has reduced to $33,000, so it's a total contribution of $185,300 from the City of Grande Prairie for 2026. So a lot of our work, hopefully I've been able to identify how it aligns with the buckets of work that the city has outlined in its strategic plan. I don't think I need to read through any of that, but happy to take questions from anyone if they have it.
Okay. Thanks for your report on that, all this stuff. So yeah, I'll head to the queue. I've got a few councillors. We'll start with Councillor Burke, please.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor Palat. And thanks, ladies, for attending. Again, I sit on your board as the Grande Prairie councillor. And I just want to thank you for bringing a couple of new events and some new ideas that we didn't have with Grande Prairie Regional Tourism. One you brought up was the Tourism Summit, which I attended. And I try to attend a number of different tourism events across the province because networking is huge. And through networking is where you develop these different types of tours and partnerships. And so when you had that one, it was people from across the north. So again, a great partnership and opportunity there. Now, I did miss Growing the North. I was actually at the International Indigenous Tourism Conference in Edmonton during it. So that's something I believe that is relatively new to the organization. Can you quickly summarize what you guys did at Growing the North?
Yeah, so GPRTA sits on the steering committee for Growing the North. So we're part of planning the activities and lining up speakers and things with the rest of the committee. We had a booth. We spoke to really GPRTA's ability or any DMO's ability to elevate the brand across industries. So we really do speak for, we're brand ambassadors. We want our communities to shine and thrive. We want to amplify everything that's positive about life in our communities. There was one gentleman in particular who had a comment from one of the other speakers. He worked in the oil and gas industry and had a comment about how there's some negative connotation with oil and gas, that the environmental groups have kind of driven the narrative in one direction, and he really wanted a lot of the sustainability features of it to be better amplified, to know how they give back to community and really are a crux of quality of life. And so I think partnerships across industries with your DMO, so that's what we really wanted to try and highlight, is that by working with your DMO, we can amplify everything that it is about life in our communities, and that works across sectors, across industries. And to show that how each component of that feeds back into our economic impact, which feeds back into the investment capacities our municipalities are able to make. Our businesses are stronger because of it, and it all kind of generates back into having even more of a reason to go and visit and explore life in these different places. So we were just trying to elevate the idea there. And that conference in particular, being an economic conference, is just a great platform with a number of different stakeholders there to be able to engage with.
Excellent. And that's where I was hoping you would go. That tourism is an economic driver, and that we were present, and there's great opportunities up here in the north to really grow that. So thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Burke. Councillor O'Connor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Palat. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Kate, for coming in. I really like the direction that you're heading with on your trying to attract more business conferences here and sport tourism. And sport tourism, for me, is one of those big shinies. I think there's an opportunity to, and have you looked at having groups register if they're bringing the national championships here. In particular, the Canadian National Disc Golf Championships are coming here this summer, 26th to the 29th, just so you know, you put that in your calendar. Are you getting people to register for these races and say, hey, we're going to have an event this summer, and what do we need to do?
That is where we want to get to. There's a lot on everybody's plate when they're doing these different organization events. We do want to hope, and that's kind of the idea with the partnership with Sport Connect, is that we can lay out, okay, you're running a tournament, you're running an event. Here are the steps to go through. Here's the places to connect. You know, register your event on our events page. That's something they can absolutely do. make sure you're engaging with us early on so that we can offer whatever supports are relevant, making sure that we're providing marketing assets as part of the information they might share out with the people that they're bringing in prior to, so they can plan to come a little bit early or stay a little bit late, So we do want to work on making sure that they understand that we're a critical part of their event planning. They don't have to register with us per se, but I think that that's where just a stronger partnership with Sport Connect, the city, when it happens to be a bigger event, and ourselves can make a big difference.
And supplement, thank you. And with the multi-sport dome coming along, I think there will be a lot of opportunity for events all year round. So I'm just hoping that we get them that phone numbers right there and say what events are coming to this facility. That opens up next summer, so we're looking forward to a lot of sports events coming here. So
yeah, thank you for that. Ideally, yeah, we're much more proactive, and people know who we are and what we do and how we can help, and are leveraging us early on in their planning phase. Once we go through the rebranding, we'll be able to have an investment in significant assets as well. And it'd be great to be able to have signage at these different venues where people can scan a QR code and go to our events page and find out what's happening in the community, or things in foyers at hotels that just is a little bit more high profile. We're just waiting to complete the identity piece so that we make, smart investments that are going to be relevant for a long time.
Yeah. And what is the website address for people to register or take a look and say, here, this is what's happening in Grande Prairie this summer?
Yeah, gptourism.ca.
Okay, thank you.
You got that wrote down, Councillor O'Connor? Thanks for the questions on that. I'll go next to Councillor Thiessen, please.
Thank you so much, Deputy Chair Palat. Let me lower my hand there. Nice to have you in here, Ms. Grievett, and Your Worship, Mayor Kate Potter. I was looking at the two charts, GPRTA, and I was really buoyed by the other revenue pie chart for 2026. It seems like you've definitely grown your own revenue significantly, northward of about 130,000. But what I noticed between the 2025 pie graph is that the business memberships are no longer a part of the 2026 pie chart. Now, my question for you is, did you just amalgamate that in there and add it on top of the extra revenue, or what's going on with business memberships for GPRTA?
Yeah, good eye. We waived business memberships for 2026. We had heard that, our membership was never extensive. It was 125 for a nonprofit, 200 for business. But it was just that little bit of a barrier that was keeping people from engaging with the organization. It wasn't a huge revenue stream for us. And it was another one of those things as well where it just opened room for questions on what was the return on that investment. So it was a more strategic move to waive the membership fee, and that provided base exposure on our website, communication through our newsletters, engagement with our staff, but then really to request that funds from businesses be invested into a cooperative development fund, a cooperative marketing fund, so that there was a clear return on how those funds were used and what the return was to those members.
Great. I love that transparency, and I'm sure the members do too. Thank you very much for answering that.
Thanks, Councillor Thiessen. Councillor Auger, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Palat. I have two questions. First one is an easy one. I am quite familiar with what goes on around here. You noted outdoor adventures. I am familiar with some. I was just wondering, what's all included in that category in the region here?
Yeah, so our region is vast. We do represent about a 2-hour radius around the city of Grande Prairie. So when somebody's looking for outdoor adventure, it's really just, where can I go mountain biking? Where can I go for a hike? Where can I go for a paddle? So it's really just anything like that. So we'll give points of interest a lot of times. Sometimes, because we don't have a ton of tour guides at the moment, there are a few outfitters, more so in the Grand Cache area, that provide some outdoor adventure type guided experiences, but for the most part, it's just bird watching at Saskatoon, or just hiking, biking trails, scenic drives, sledding, skiing, those types of experiences.
Is there a listing of all the outdoor adventures in the area?
Yeah, we are working at we are member driven, so our website is limited to those members unless they're an outdoor asset like a park or something like that. But they are all on our website. And we also publish a visitor guide, and so we're just working on that for 2026, and it's all listed in there as well.
Okay, thank you. And my second question was, you mentioned and talked about visitors that come into our area, and they come from all over, and many are on the way down to BC on the Alaska Highway. We get a lot of American visitors. What kind of incentives are in place for visitors coming to Grande Prairie, as an example? When I travel, of course, there's a cost for hotels. There's a cost for everything. And when I take a look at a lot of the tourists that stop here in Grande Prairie, what's available for incentives for them to stay a bit longer or to even just stay here?
Do you mean like a financial incentive, or as far as...
Yeah, because everything costs money, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing is free.
Right. Well, we are blessed with absolutely gorgeous outdoor assets. So the wilderness, the walking trails, all of those types of adventure. We're working with our hotel communities and our membership on that program I had mentioned, doing like a passport program or something that gives some incentives. So a lot of the programs out there are based on a model where if you check in at the places that are in the itinerary, you earn either 10% off of a good at that store, or you earn points towards some sort of reward later on, depending on how long you're in the area. So we're working on developing some of those incentives, some stay and play packages with our hotels for different times of year, just developing different types of experiences around some of our main tourism pillars, like the Bear Creek Folk Fest, Stompede, some of those types of things to really amplify what is available and just make it better well known. We're looking at better leveraging our summer students this year to do walking tours and things like that, so that people don't have to, guess or find it on their own, but be a little bit more proactive in how we're pulling things together and showcasing it for people.
Thank you.
Thanks for the questions. Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair Plott. Thanks for being here tonight, ladies. Really appreciate the update and the very thorough information. Question in regards to, you mentioned in the most recent budget, Ministry of Tourism talked about destination marketing organizations and their plan for a more transparent program. I'm curious what GPRTA sees as their role in that space. GPRTA has its own DMF, and I'm wondering how you're planning to work with other regional DMFs, including the local one that is a big contributor to GPRTA. The reason I ask is DMFs has been very strong in our region of supporting things that end up creating significant sport tourism initiatives, and not necessarily just in our backyard, but across the province. And transparency of any program is essential. But we would hate to see for those programs to go away, as they, when they're managed correctly and properly, they create significant ROI on tourism. And so I'm just curious how you see your role in from, speaking with the minister last week, his intent of having some consultation and different conversations on this. Where do you see GPRTA's role in that?
Yeah, well, I do think we're in favor of this is moving in the right direction. We are all aligned in the intent of how we look at destination marketing fees. It's for the improvement of destination development and being able to market. So we will, the regulation has yet to be released, and that will provide a lot of guidance for destination marketing organizations. There is a whole process that we'll need to follow. So there will be a lot of, I don't know how much of a consultation the province is going to do at this point, but there's certainly an opportunity for GPRTA to be leading a number of consultations with our hotel community. And the DMF, it sounds like, won't just be limited to accommodation providers, but tourism experience providers as well. destination marketing fees have a huge role already in community and making sure that we're bringing in and executing really top-notch events. But it can also go to the development of additional placemaking type initiatives. So all that to say that the board has not yet convened since the announcement was made, but we will continue. Yes, I'm going to turn this over to Kate.
I'll just maybe add in here. So there has been ongoing discussion about this because it is something that we've expected. The province has been talking about it for quite a long time, and so we knew that this was coming down the pipe, basically. So there has been quite a bit of discussion already about the role that GPRTA can play, and for being a very impartial and center space. So we have a DMF that we're the fiscal agent for as GPRTA, but we also work with other hotels that already contribute DMF funds to our organization in the same way, even though they're not part of the DMF. And so in that way, we already have an open door, and Jasmine has made building relationships with hoteliers and other organizations that collect that fee a priority, so that as this was coming, it would be an opportunity for us to potentially make a bid to be that organization. The proposed legislation does have that anybody can sort of make that bid to be that organization for the region. And so GPRTA would have to earn their spot just like anyone else would, but we feel that that we have made good strides and have strong partnerships to prove that we can play that role and really help leverage those funds for those organizations that continue to charge the fee, to make sure that we don't lose some of those advantages and benefits that the community has seen and grown accustomed to be honest. You know, it's a big change having a legislation like this, but the benefits of bringing transparency and accountability are really great, but it does mean that there's more work to do in order to make sure that we're doing that well and occupying that space well.
Yeah, great. Thanks for that. Thanks, Chair Plott. I look forward to further conversations on this because, as discussed, I think I know that it's a huge benefit, in particular to regions that are outside of the Rockies and Edmonton and Calgary, to attract tourism, and so to be able to use those dollars efficiently has been something that's been a great added benefit. So I look forward to those conversations. Because it would be a real loss to tourism in rural areas to see those funds removed completely. Thanks.
Thanks, Mayor Clayton. Councillor O'Toole.
Yes, thanks very much, Deputy Mayor. I attended a conference in Calgary last year, what was it called? Sports Tourism Conference, and we met people from all over the country. And they asked me where I was from, and I said Grande Prairie. And one of the guys that I talked to, one of many, said he knows exactly where Grande Prairie is. I live in Prince George, and I've been there 16 times this year already. So between volleyball, basketball, and hockey, he knows Grande Prairie. He knows the hotels and knows where the best pizza is and that kind of stuff. But what a way to meet people and hear about your city from other people. You know, they're very happy with the sports facilities. They're easy. It's not like a huge place like Vancouver where it takes you an hour and a half to get to where you're going. You can be at your hotel and be at the venue within 15 minutes. So kind of a 15-minute city situation. But yeah, like, so we're getting people all the way, like there was people from Calgary, Edmonton, Red Deer, there were some people from Saskatoon, Regina, all over. And so they know about Grande Prairie. Mm-hmm. You just got to get them to come here more often, I guess. So what you're doing is good. And we just maybe, I don't know, do we promote in the other communities too? That's a question, but it doesn't need to be answered today. It's if we can get them to come to a sporting event in Grande Prairie, because it's not that far away and everything is like, you go to a restaurant, you can go do the venue, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got to say. Thank you for your presentation today.
Thank you, Councillor O'Toole. Just one question I didn't hear any of my colleagues ask, and just curious about the hotel accommodation size of it in our community as we're trying to get more business in sports tourism. Is there capacity to do it? I hear from some organizations that they're trying to get things put together and they can't find a weekend with 25 hotel rooms. So I'm not sure if that's them not doing their work diligently, but can you kind of explain to me where we're at with that? And that's outside the city's control, outside of your control, but could play a huge part in whether this plan works or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, in part of the engagement of the strategy, we did do consultation with the hotel community, and we had heard that it really ebbs and flows. So some weekends, yes, there's a lot going on, and then other times it's crickets. So it's just about making sure that we're aware of those vacancies and being strategic in the types of events and timing to fill them up. So yes, there's absolutely room to grow.
Okay, so it's just get more strategic on a holistic calendar, I guess, for all these years.
Yeah, it's just communicating who's got what going on at what time and where are the opportunities to fill the gaps.
Well, thanks for coming in, ladies. No, I don't see anybody else in the queue, but I appreciate the update and all the great work that you're doing.
Great.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Moving on in our meeting, we're going to head into our reports, and we'll go to our 9.1, our 2026 large-scale tourism. And I'll turn this over to Ms. Bieberdorf to introduce, please.
Thank you, Chair Palat. Ms. Esau is here today to report on large-scale tourism and go through all the details, and then we're happy to answer any questions.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And go ahead.
Thank you. Hello, Council. Today, I am presenting the 2026 Large-Scale Tourism Grant Recommendations. Administration received 3 eligible applications. All 3 met Policy 317 criteria and were recommended for funding. The total recommended allocation is $100,000, fully subscribing the 2026 budget. With that, administration recommends $33,333 to Grand Con, $33,333 to the Grande Prairie Traditional Powwow, and $33,333 to the Grande Prairie Regional Air Show. This reflects an even distribution of the available funding envelope. All 3 events are multi-day large-scale events, meet the minimum 35% tourism draw requirement, and submitted required sustainability, economic, and social impact plans. Grand Con is a 3-day ticketed pop culture convention at Bonnet's Energy Center that draws approximately 2,000 attendees per day and generates regional tourism while supporting Odyssey House operations. The Grande Prairie Traditional Powwow is a 2-day cultural celebration at Evergreen Park, welcoming approximately 2,500 attendees per day and attracting significant regional participation while promoting Indigenous culture and heritage. And the Grande Prairie Regional Air Show is a 2-day aviation event at the Grande Prairie Regional Airport, projected to attract approximately 7,500 attendees per day, generating substantial tourism activity with proceeds supporting the Decoy Community Hub project. And with that, that is the conclusion of my report.
Great, I appreciate that summary. I'll go to the queue with the councillor, and I'll start with Councillor Bressie, please.
Great, thank you, Chair Plott, and thanks to administration and the committee for stick handling this recommendation. This is always a challenging one, so I appreciate the work that went into it. But I'm wondering if you could tell me a little bit more about what the philosophy is of an even distribution when they're very different events in terms of how many people come, what the event looks like, expenses, etc. So what was the philosophy behind the even 33% funding? And was there a discussion of a different type of allocation potentially being recommended to the council?
Thank you, through the mayor. So the recommendation as it is was determined based on all of the events meeting eligibility requirements and evenly distributing them amongst these 3 events. There was some discussion at the Community Advisory Committee around decreasing some events and increasing others, but there was no consensus on which events merited more or less funding. So the recommendation was to evenly distribute.
Thank you.
That's good you're good with that, Councillor Bressie? Okay. Moving on to Councillor Berg.
Yeah, thanks, Deputy Mayor Palat. Happy to do business, but I do have one question first. with each group, did they apply for the full $50,000 or did they have it scaled as well?
Thank you, through the mayor. The requests did vary, but they all were eligible for the 50,000. Some requested more than eligible requirements. So yes, they all requested the max.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
You're out of queue. Okay, so Business Rising. I just have one question, and I'll come back to you for Business Rising. I'm just curious if you can give me a little bit more information on the powwow. In our report, it says this is the 6th year of the event, and we don't have any financials for them to know if they've got a balance sheet moving forward that actually is it positive or negative. Like, how have they been doing the last few years? I guess on there.
Thank you for the question. So based on what they had submitted in their application, they had a balanced budget, which didn't include any grant revenue in that budget. So as far as we could conclude from what they submitted in their financials, they are operating at break even.
Just break even. And do we know how much the county contributes to the event?
Sorry, thank you for the question. In 2025, the county contributed for the facility gift in kind at Evergreen Park, which was around $18,000. They haven't received a request from my communications with them for 2026.
Okay. So I'll tip my hand a little bit before Business Rising, I guess, but I'm struggling with this one a little bit because I do have concerns that we're sponsoring a third of this event 6 years in. I guess for me, that's a scary thing to be in a position where we're a third of the event, and I'm a little bit worried about it not getting other funding sources. So just seeing a little bit, but I'll go to Business Rising with Councillor Berg, please.
Sorry, I have my hand up as well.
Oh, sorry, Mayor Clayton. Go ahead, please.
Thanks. That's all right. Thanks. A question for administration in regards to the Grand Con. Can you tell me a similar question to Councillor Palat's questions on the financials of that event? How much are we the largest funder of that? If so, what percentage of that are we funding? And I know in turn that event is a fundraiser for an external nonprofit, and if I recall correctly, it's for Odyssey House, which is a great initiative. And so I'm curious, how much have they been funding Odyssey House over the last couple of years? So sort of three questions there. How much are they raising corporately in addition to us? What percentage is our donation of the total fundraising, sponsorship raising? And how much have they been supporting Odyssey House over the last couple of years?
Thank you for the question. So within their application, they didn't note how much of the funds were being donated to Odyssey House. So I don't have an answer for that, but I could bring something back. And then in terms of their budget, they have a revenue of around $260,000 with expenses at $278,000 and are projecting a deficit without grant funding. And as far as I'm aware, we would be one of the larger contributors to this event.
Like the largest, do you know?
I wouldn't be able to say for sure if we were, but I can bring that back as well.
Okay, and if I could, Chair Palat?
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually would be fine us getting more information on all these events. I'm quite, I really appreciate the work the Air Show is doing, and it's new. It's great to see that. Some of these other events have been going along for a while. I know Ms. Card was at council recently, but I don't recall her addressing. I think that we're one of the largest there, but I'd be curious of the percentage of sponsorship. You know, are we, and sort of to Councillor Plot's comments, if we're a third of the corporate donors, maybe that's fine, but it would be valuable to know. Because there comes a point where if the city being the largest supporter of these events, we have to recognize that these events only exist because of the city's support. So I think that's a valuable piece of information. And so unless you can tell me, Shanoa, if there's a reason to not delay this, I think there's some valuable information that could come back to council for further discussion.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Clayton. There would be no immediate concerns with delaying it and bringing back more information.
Okay, so for all three of these user groups, we're not seeing any concerns with that, and so we just would a motion to table this item just be in order, or?
Yeah, so I'd be happy to make that motion unless you have other people in the queue with questions.
Just Councillor Berg, but I think that was just for business. Was yours just? Okay. Go ahead, Mayor Clayton. Oh, sorry, Councillor Thiessen.
Thank you very much, Chair Palat. Just a question for you, Ms. Thiesel. Every time an event puts in an application for large-scale tourism, they always have to provide sort of a report after and a detailed budget analysis. So bringing this information shouldn't be too difficult for administration, would it? I'm just talking about timelines.
Go ahead, Ms. Bieberdorf.
Thanks, Chair Palat. Depending on when their end-of-year financials are, we may or may not have accurate reporting from last year. They do have to submit a report to us, but they might not have their most up-to-date year-end financials from the previous year.
Okay, so I guess in regards to that, I've heard a lot of questions about how much money did Grand Con donate to the Odyssey House last year. What are the other sponsors for the traditional powwow? I thought it was expected of the groups before they received any other funding to have a full accounting of their previous year's festival.
Yes, thank you for the question. They do provide us with the reporting, but sometimes their financial statements from the accountant aren't available. So we do get the reports, and we can access profit and loss, but not necessarily what comes from an accounting firm.
Okay. Is that built into our large-scale tourism funds to request at least that portion of it financially?
Thank you. Yes, it is part of the grant funding agreement. Sometimes it's just a matter of timing.
Okay, and how frequent, sorry for all the questions, Chair Palat, how frequently do we experience events applying and receiving funds from large-scale tourism to submit their accounting financials after they've already applied and received money for the next year?
Well, off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to tell you how many, but I would say it's a common occurrence. We get financials post application for other funding sources, but we do follow up to make sure that we still get them and have them on file.
Yeah, I totally believe that. I just think that it's due diligence and fiscal responsibility, at least from the council side, for us to understand where the money's going, where it came from, and at least as long as administration has a good grasp of that and they can explain it, I'm totally fine with it. But I do have a little bit of uncomfortability of handing out more money before we see actual financials, and I think I'm hearing that around the table too. So just a comment. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Councillor Thiessen. I just want to go, Councillor Berger, are you still just for the motion, or do you have another question? Okay, I'll go to Councillor O'Toole, please.
Yes, but if he's in the queue.
If you want to go ahead with business, there's nobody in the queue. Oh, but it's...
Tell you what.
No, we didn't make an motion, so I'll just go back to Councillor Berg then, please.
I was going to make the motion, but yeah.
Let Mayor Clayton make the motion.
Okay, go ahead, Mayor Clayton.
Thanks. I'd move that Council postpone the discussion on this matter until March 16th, to the March 16th City Council meeting. And with that, I'm happy to make a subsequent motion if CEO Burke would like that. But I think it's been echoed by my colleagues here today that there needs to be more information, financial information shared from these organizations. Our volunteer organizations do incredible work, but that doesn't mean that we can continually just hand them over checks. And so we've increased that financial insight over the past few years. But some of these questions that are being asked today should be relatively easy to receive that information. And so I look forward to that conversation in 2 weeks' time. If you need a subsequent motion, just let me know.
So I'll just look to CEO Burke and are you comfortable with the motion, or would you rather it have a little bit more detail in it?
Let me just ask Ms. Bieberdorf, do you have enough of the flavor of the discussion to know what to bring back on the 16th?
Yeah,
I just wanted to confirm that. Then we're fine.
Getting head nods, so yeah, we're good with that. Any discussion or debate on that motion? Okay, seeing none, please vote. thank you. That carries. So we'll get that back in a couple weeks again. We'll move on to our next item. We're going to our corporate sponsorship, and I'll look for Ms. Bilodeau to introduce, please.
Sorry, Chair Palat. I'm going to declare a conflict of interest on this and not participate in discussion on this since my wife works for one of the organizations under consideration.
Okay, appreciate that, Councillor Bressy. So Councillor Bressy has deemed a conflict and will not be part of this motion. So we'll go back to you, Ms. Bilodeau, if you want to introduce, please.
Great, thank you. Good afternoon. Administration is bringing forward a recommendation for Council to approve sponsorships for 4 major community events occurring in 2026 that meet or exceed the $10,000 threshold under the Corporate Sponsorship Fund. The Corporate Sponsorship Program allows the City to strategically invest in high-impact community events that align with Council's strategic priorities. The 4 events recommended today represent established, well-attended initiatives that deliver social, cultural, and economic benefit to Grande Prairie. Administration is recommending continued support based on their scale, community significance, and alignment with the corporate sponsorship policy. So the first being Grande Prairie Stampede with a recommendation of $10,000. The Stampede remains one of the region's largest and most visible annual events, attracting approximately 45,000 to 50,000 attendees. It is a long-standing and well-attended event that contributes meaningfully to local culture, economic activity, tourism, and community pride. A $10,000 sponsorship maintains the city's presence at this high-profile regional event and is consistent with the previous levels of support. The next event is the 7/70 event with a recommendation of $10,000. The 7/70 event, organized by the Northwestern Alberta Foundation, recognizes community members over the age of 70 for lifetime contributions to the Grande Prairie region. While Grande Prairie has a number of business, institutional, and sector-based recognition programs, there are a few community-led initiatives that focus exclusively on lifetime civic contribution across multiple sectors. The 7/70 event occupies a distinct space by recognizing senior community leaders for decades of volunteerism, mentorship, and civic leadership, independent of a single organization or industry. The organizers of this event have requested that we do come forward in the same sponsorship level as last year, which is $10,000 for the Arbor auction opportunity. And administration recommends continuing as in that capacity to maintain the city's visible support of community recognition and inclusion. The next event coming forward for recommendation is the Bear Creek Folk Festival for $50,000. The Bear Creek Folk Festival is a signature multi-day arts and culture event that draws thousands of attendees, including visitors from outside the region. It contributes significantly to local tourism, hospitality, and retail sectors. For 2026, the organizers have submitted a formal request for $80,000 in support, including a request for additional park and playground space to accommodate a continued growth. In recognition of the nature and community significance of the event, administration recommends a $50,000 corporate sponsorship allocation for 2026, which reflects the maximum amount available under the current corporate sponsorship framework. Administration will also work with organizers to incorporate the proposed park and playground space into this year's agreement, subject to final site requirements and necessary approvals. The final event that we are recommending funding over at the $10,000 level is Festival of Trees. The Festival of Trees supports regional healthcare initiatives through the Grande Prairie Regional Hospital Foundation. It is a well-established seasonal event with strong community participation and fundraising outcomes. A $10,000 sponsorship continues the city's support of accessible admission and visible partnership with a key community organization. So collectively, these 4 events represent balanced and strategic investment across tourism, culture, community recognition, and health-related fundraising. In addition to community and economic benefits, these sponsorships provide meaningful recognition and brand visibility for the city through on-site promotion, marketing materials, and association with respected community events. The recommendation allocations total $80,000 and remain within the approved corporate sponsorship budget. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions that council may have.
All right, thank you for that report, Ms. Bilodeau. I'm going to start with Mayor Clayton, please.
Thanks for that, Chair Plott. I've got a few questions, so maybe I'll just go in order of event. In the first one, it mentions the Stampede at 10,000. Can you let me know, is there any recognition for the gift in kind that we do? And in particular, I mean, we had a great pancake breakfast last year, which I think obviously is an event for our residents to come out and love supporting, seeing the community engage in many events and seeing other businesses take on that role. But I wonder if there's ever any recognition for those sort of subsidiary things we do.
Thank you, through the chair. Yes, so last year we were able to negotiate recognition in the amount of $15,000 for gift in kind for the services that the city was able to provide. This year there has just been preliminary discussions with the event organizers for gift in kind provided through our events and promotion team. I have reached out to the other departments as well, but so far those conversations have not been had. But should there be further gift in kind requests coming forward, we would work with the organizers for appropriate recognition.
Great, thanks. So that includes the gift in kind from the kickoff, the luncheon, the kickoff at Bonnet, as well as our pancake breakfast.
Yes, we can certainly see that is captured.
Okay, and I have a few, Councillor Plott, so just let me know when.
Maybe go ahead with a couple more.
Good. So the Bear Creek Folk Fest, when they presented to council last week, mentioned that they were hoping that we would be in at the amount as last year, which was $80,000. Two parts of this question. Remind me of the gift in kind that we have allocated for the park space, the electrification of the hill. I don't recall the amount that we invested into the infrastructure there. And also, if council chooses not to fund the Folk Fest for that extra $30,000, we were kind of led to believe that they don't need the other park side. So I'm curious if we, A, what is our gift in kind amount for Folk Fest, and B, if there isn't additional funds for them, do we assume that it's actually not going to include an expansion?
Splitto?
Sure, I'll turn this one over to CAO Burke.
I think I'll start with the additional request from last year and reminding council about the process on that. Last year we did fund to the level of $50,000 in cash. We had a plan. There was a capital project last year approved for electrification of Borstad Hill. We had anticipated that we'd be able to have that done prior to the Bear Creek Folk Fest, but supply chain meant that would not be completed till after. As we had previously committed to electrification of Borstad, we looked at operational funding from within the city to cover the cost of renting generators and fuel for that 1 year, which was the top up of $30,000, and that came from operations of administration. Now that electrification has occurred, those costs should go down for Bear Creek Folk Fest. I don't have the costs in front of me of what gift in kind would be for parks or power. Those are things that we hadn't traditionally kept, and that's something we'd have to come back with. But the additional $30,000 was from operations due to the fact that we hadn't electrified the hill when we said we would. We have now completed that project.
Thank you for that.
If I could, Chair Plott, I'd really like to see some value of this gift in kind, especially as they're looking to expand across the bridge. It really becomes removing assets that were paid for by our city residents and removing them from availability for a week. So to recognize that gift in kind, I think is only right. It's as that event grows, it takes up more and more public space. And so having a value on that, I think, would be extremely important. And then I don't know if somebody has an answer to my second part of the question, which is, to my knowledge, there is no other money that they qualify for. And so unless council chooses to make decisions on changing the recommendations on large-scale tourism, so knowing that there's potentially no other money, do we think the expansion of across the creek is actually going to happen without that extra money?
Not sure if the administration wants to try to tackle that one, but
That would be a question that we would have to ask the organizers here more precisely.
Thank you.
Okay, so Councillor Berg.
Yeah, thanks, Deputy Mayor. So just I'll support Mayor Clayton. I always want to see sponsor value. In previous councils, it was grant money, and I didn't feel we were getting the recognition through grants. So this was shift to somewhat of a sponsorship so that we could actually negotiate recognition and sponsor value. So just want to support that before I get to my main question. So when I look at these 4 events, to quote Sesame Street, one of these things is not like the other. So with Stampede, Folk Festival, Festival of Trees, to me these are events that are multi-day events that attract thousands and thousands of people to the region. Now, unfortunately, I was at a different council event. As we know, there's 2 or 3 events every Saturday and Friday. So I was at a different event for 7 over 70, but they're asking for the same amount as Stampede and Festival of Trees. So I'm just kind of curious how they fit under the same umbrella.
Ms. Poto?
Sure, through the chair. Thank you very much for the question. So while this event does not generate as high of an attendance as the other events being considered, it does deliver high qualitative impact and reputational value, which really does align with the intent of the corporate sponsorship policy. And it does also fill a space in the community recognition landscape that the city otherwise does not provide directly. So that is an identified uniqueness to this event. Another highlight that I will add for this event in particular, and the Arbor auction that we have identified as continuing with providing support for, that event in itself for auctioning off 7 trees did result in over $26,000 revenue, I suppose, or profit for Northwestern Alberta Foundation at the time of this event. So a good return, I think, in that respect as well.
Yeah, so thank you. Again, it's not as though I'm challenging it. I'm just kind of curious because it does stand out. So thank you.
Of course.
Thanks for that, Councillor Berg. I'm just going to actually build on that a little bit. Just on the 70 for 70 again, also I was not able to attend last year. Can you just tell me what the bottom line looked like that for that event last year? Was it profitable when it was all said and done, or do we get that sort of scale back on our corporate sponsorship side like we do with the other ones, or is it a little bit different process?
Thank you for the question. So we do typically receive a sponsor impact report, and this event was seen as highly successful for the NAF. It was their inaugural year, and they do anticipate that it will grow over time. Last year, I believe the overall impact was a $56,000 and change profit for the event itself that it can then invest back into the community organizations that it supports.
Okay, no, it's great. It's great that it's a fundraiser, so I'm very happy about that part. I'm probably maybe just questioning the 10,000 more than maybe more of a gold sponsorship level of a $5,000 level, but that's just food for thought for me. So I don't see any other questions in queue here or hands up online. I guess I'd be looking for business arising from someone if there's no further questions. Councillor O'Toole.
Thank you very much. I move that Council direct administration to negotiate and enter into sponsorship agreements for the following 2026 major community events, containing terms and conditions satisfactory to the city manager and the city solicitor, and in the following amounts. First one, the Grande Prairie Stampede in the amount of $10,000. Second one is the 7 over 70 event in the amount of $10,000. Third, the Bear Creek Folk Festival in the amount of $50,000, and the fourth one being the Festival of Trees in the amount of $10,000.
Thank you for your motion on that, Councillor O'Toole. Discussion or debate on that? Seeing no hands up or names in queue, please vote. And that carries unanimously. Thanks for admin on that. Lots of work going into those files. I appreciate that. So our next item on our agenda is number 9.3, our Grande Prairie Pride Society gift in kind requests. And I'll go to Ms. Bieberdorf to introduce, please.
Thanks, Chair Palat. So we had reviewed the Pride Society Festival funding request last week at committee, and we had flagged that a gift in kind request had come in after we processed those applications. So we just wanted to bring it forward today that they requested gift in kind for rental of bonnets for the Family Carnival, the Teen Dance, and the Party in White. And just based on some analysis of this and looking at which events are open to the public and which events were free of charge to the public, we would like to recommend gift in kind for the Pride Family Carnival in the amount of $3,937.50.
Thank you for that. Questions for administration? Councillor Berg.
Yeah, thanks, Deputy Mayor Palat. Just curious, do we give them any cash as well as part of any other grants or funding?
Yes, thank you for the question. So we had a recommendation of $13,520 through festival funding, which will be finalized in the agenda a little bit later tonight.
Thank you.
Councillor O'Toole.
Yeah, just a couple of questions here. That'll be for one day or an evening and a day?
Thank you. That's for the June 20th Family Carnival event, so it's a full day.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Bressie.
I'm just happy to do business whenever you're ready.
Well, nobody's hands up or in queue, so go ahead if you'd like to.
Great. I just move the council approve gift in kind to the Grande Prairie Pride Society for the Pride Family Carnival in the amount of $3,937.50. And just to speak to this, it's a really great, free, family-friendly event that I always enjoy with my family. I know many other families do too. But I haven't loved how it's disruptive at Lease Link Center in past years. So I think that it works better there. It's more visible there, but also it's less disruptive to municipal operations. So it makes sense to be there. So I hope that council will support this. And also with my sincere apologies to council, I have arranged for another meeting that I have to get to. So I'm going to remove myself from the rest of the meeting after this agenda item is over.
Okay, thanks for the motion and the heads up on that, Councillor Bressie. Seeing nobody in the queue, please vote on that. And that carries. So from there, we'll head into our committee business, and we'll start with our Operational Services Committee, and I'll go to Councillor Flack, please.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor Palat. I move council adopt the minutes of the Operational Services Committee meeting held February 24th as presented.
Thank you for that motion. Please vote. And that carries. Any meeting highlights you wanted?
Yeah, wish me luck here. Yeah, I think we talked a lot about snow. They're working hard removing snow off the roads, and we've gotten more since then. What else did we talk about? We also talked, we got a report back talking about providing free transit for city's homeless population. We had some discussion on that. And we also discussed private tree protection strategy. And that's the highlights.
Okay, well, thanks for the highlights on that, Councillor Fleck. And we'll move on to our investment strategy meeting, and financial and administrative services meeting. And I'll go to, I guess, Councillor Flack on that as well, is it?
Uh-oh. I move council adopt the minutes of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting held February 24th as presented.
Okay. Thanks for the motion. Please vote on that.
Councillor Thiessen in favor.
Thanks, Councillor Thiessen. And that carries. And so is there some highlights from the financial meeting, Councillor Flack?
There was. Our residents got their tax assessments in the mail, and administration's handling inquiries from those notices. Property owners have until the end of March to inquire on their property assessment for 2026. Administration is working with property owners in preparation for the tax sale on March 13th. And the rest is in the minutes.
Okay, thanks for your report and update for that committee. We'll move on to the Investment and Strategy Committee, and I'll look to Chair Berg on that one, please, or Councillor Berg.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor Palat. I would like to move Council adopt the minutes of the Investment and Strategy Committee held February 24th as presented.
Thank you for the motion. Please vote on that. That carries. And you had some business from your meeting, Councillor Berg.
Yeah, the first bit of business, I will be asking for Council to receive a report for information on the ISC grant application report that we had back in February 24th. We were just discussing a number of grants that the city is pursuing federally, privately, and through the province. And it was Ms. Pinnock that delivered the report, but I'll give opportunity here to Ms. Bieberdorf if she wants to speak to any of it. No, all good. Okay. All right. So there's some highlights in there. Competitive grant applications. We did 64, unsuccessful 32. One of the things that we did discuss as well is that if it's not something that we're going to do anyway, we don't apply for it, because in many cases, what it would do is commit us to an obligation that we didn't want or is unbudgeted. So every grant application that goes in is something that the city is looking to do and potentially reduce costs on. So I'd like to have that for information.
All right, I appreciate the motion. Want to thank administration for this report. It's got more transparency. The community is always asking, what are we doing? What funds are we going after? And this is another report that shows work administration is doing on that. So seeing nobody in the queue, please vote on that motion. And that carries, and we'll come back to you again, Councillor Berg.
Yeah, thank you. There's going to be 3 parts to this, so I'll just move down. So first off, I'd like to move that Council approve funding applications or allocations as presented in Appendix A. So we have the Community Advisory Committee. This is a committee of citizens from across Grande Prairie that advise us on a number of grants that the city has. And there is a long list of probably 25, 30 different things. A lot of it is athletic development, coaching development, official development, arts and culture. And all of these really enhance the reputation of the city, but the vitality of the city, because we're empowering people and organizations and lifting them up. And at a quick glance, I see these start at about $500 and go up to, I see the Center for Young Parents, $11,850, Boys Choir, $11,850. So there's a very long list, very thorough list that anybody can review in this report. And so with that, I would like to move that Council approve funding allocations as presented in Appendix A.
Thank you for that, Councillor Berg. Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, please vote. And that carries. And back to you, Councillor Berg.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to move Council reallocate the remaining $10,000 in arts and cultural operational funding to the organizations that qualify for additional arts and culture festival funding. So at the end, there was $10,000 remaining. The committee had not allocated the full amount, but there was a number of organizations that we felt could still use money because they were not fully allocated. So they had asked for a designated amount within the limits, but were only allocated partial funding. We at Council felt that they could really use that money to enhance their event and make it, and I guess meet what they were asking for. So that's what the second motion is about.
Okay, thanks for that motion, Councillor Berg. Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, please vote. And that carries, and you have one more item of business, Councillor Berg.
Yeah, just let me catch up here on my iPad. All right. Council approved funding allocations as presented in Appendix B. So similarly, again, a number of dynamic individuals and organizations looking for funding in each budget. City Council sets aside these funds for these organizations and these people, again, to make our community a better place, fitting in with the quality of life element here in Grande Prairie.
Okay, thanks for that motion. Just looking through that list, it's always great when we see some of these athletes, coach development, some of the folks that are applying for some of these grants and how they leverage that to help our community evolve in these areas as well. So always appreciate these ones. Seeing nobody in the queue, please vote.
Councillor Thiessen in favor. Oh, there it is. Never mind.
And that carries. And we'll come back to you for some meeting highlights, please.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so some meeting highlights. Community Connections Administration attended the Family Day event at the Eastlink Centre, engaged with 77 residents on topics related to recreation and culture strategy. The city received Sports Excellent Awards event of the year. I'll slow this down. The city received a Sports Excellent Award for Event of the Year for the city hosting the 2025 Special Olympics here in Grande Prairie. So that was a heartwarming event. It was terrific, and probably in my 34 years in Grande Prairie, I've never been more proud of our city than during that event. It was beautiful. So it's great that we're being recognized by outside sources for what we did, and the athletes and volunteers, and how that event came together. Over in Invest Grande Prairie, administration hosted a residential construction and housing mixer where 70 individuals from across the construction industry joined council to discuss priorities. Over in communications, Women of Influence Awards, Deborah Kozowski was named keynote speaker. Also, administration has resumed daily updates and text reminders for snow updates, which are relevant to this day. And over in legislative services, their planning is underway. It was underway for an evening in Grande Prairie, which we attended last week in Edmonton, which had a huge delegation of Alberta ministers, including the Premier, but also business leaders from Grande Prairie, meeting business leaders in Edmonton, and overall a very successful night. So, and coming up on March 31st, the State of the City is underway. The planning is underway. So those are some of the highlights there.
Thank you for that, Councillor Burke. We'll move on from our committee business to our unfinished business. We have the item for business improvement area budget, and I'll just go to Chief White to introduce, please.
Certainly, thank you. Just quickly, this was first presented by administration in early December to the Finance and Admin Committee, and the AGM was held last week to formalize, and therefore it's being brought back here today for council approval. Once approved, administration will bring forward the bylaw to levy the required taxation for the downtown.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor O'Connor.
Yes, I'll do business if you're ready.
I see no hands up, so please go ahead.
I'd like to move council approve the 2026 Business Improvement Area budget as presented.
Okay. Discussion or debate? Seeing none, please vote.
Councillor Thiessen in favor.
And that carries. And as we did have an AGM last week for the Downtown Association, I'm just looking for somebody to do business arising for that as well. I'll go back to Councillor O'Connor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Palat, I'd like to move council appoint the following to the Downtown Business Improvement Area Board: Andrea Lett, Emilia Havacas, I don't know if I can say that right, Spirem, and Lisa Dahl, for terms ending March 1st, 2029. And Bobby Joe Matheson, almost forgot that one, and Nicole Simino for terms ending March 1st, 2028.
Okay, thank you for that motion, Councillor O'Connor. See nobody in the queue, please vote. And that carries. So that takes us to our delegation business. And our first one's up, Maskwa Medical Center. Looking for somebody to business on that one. I'm just going to go to CEO Burke first, please, on that.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Palat. As there was a lot of information there, I might offer a suggestion for council to consider to possibly refer the delegation to administration to prepare options for council consideration. This wouldn't be locking in council for making a decision whether they were supporting or not, but I believe there's some due diligence that would be that the administration could prepare that would aid council in making a future decision.
Appreciate that, CEO Burke. Let services capture that, and they'll look to Councillor O'Toole.
Thank you very much, and thank you for that suggestion on the motion. I move that council direct administration to prepare options for council's consideration on the delegation's request.
That works. I'm just getting head nods from men that works. Discussion or debate? Seeing nobody in queue, please vote. That carries, and we had one other delegation with the Grande Prairie Regional Tourism Association. I'll go to Councillor O'Connor for that one.
Thank you. I'd like to move that we accept the Grande Prairie Regional Tourism Association presentation for information. Almost had it said without you putting it in there.
Thank you for that, Councillor O'Connor. Seeing no activity up, please vote on that. And that carries. We have no notice of motion, and so we'll head into our public member reports. And we'll start with Councillor Thiessen, please.
Oh, this is so tough, Councillor Palat. I think I'm going to defer to the next meeting. I'm currently riding on about 4% battery, and I'm definitely in the United States, so I'm not sure how they're eating through my data charges here. But I'm at a world-class conference on economic development, and I'll have lots of stories to share when we return.
Okay, appreciate that, Councillor Thiessen. Mayor Clayton.
Sure, I don't have a lot to add. I just one thing before I talk a little bit about Roundtable. I just asked that Councillor Berg, who, if I recall correctly, is our representative on GPRTA, if you wouldn't mind really trying to keep us in the loop on that, the work that GPRTA is going to do on destination marketing funds. I've had early conversations within the ministry, and it could have significant impact not only on our sport tourism, but on the requests that come to the city as a result of changes. So if you wouldn't mind keeping us in the loop, and proactively, if there's opportunity for us to engage in that, I'd appreciate it.
Of course.
In regards to thank you. In regards to Roundtable, I'll add more when I see you in person, but I too am with Councillor Thiessen here at the International Economic Development Leadership Summit, and thoroughly enjoying the conversations, learning from a different pool of people than traditionally. But today I mostly wanted to thank our team for the great work that they did in putting together Evening with Grande Prairie. We've had 4 of these annual events now. They are an opportunity, as mentioned, to bring business leaders from Edmonton and Calgary, primarily Edmonton in the north, to meet with business leaders of our region. It's a great collaborative event, but the unique thing of this, rather than a traditional mixer, is that we get great representation from our provincial government. And so knowing that we had 3 ministers speak and that the Premier was able to stick around almost twice as long as she originally had indicated was a great opportunity for us. And it's an annual event where we get to tell many people in the room that are engaged in our region about what is happening, how well we're doing, what's working, what's not. And so I can tell you from being somebody who's heavily involved in this event, it goes with a lot of great team players and administration, and our our team really working hard on this. So thank you to everybody who is involved. I know Ms. Bieberdorf and Ray from Bonnett's and Ms. Swift and Darla from our office. And I know I'm missing people, Ms. Pinnick and Ms. Bilodeau, but the work that goes into this event is significant, but the outcomes are something that I hear about in months down the road when they heard about it, or somebody who wasn't there heard about how great our event was. So thank you to everybody who does the work from this event, and I'll update you more when I see you in person. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks for that, Mayor Clayton. I'll go to Councillor Flack next, please.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor Palat. I've been to quite a few events over the last 2 weeks. A couple of highlights. Saturday night, I attended the gala for the Pregnancy Care Center with Councillor O'Toole. It was a sold-out event, and I think they raised quite a bit of money. Then made another stop after that to the Bonnett Center for the Big Brothers Big Sisters event, and that was very well attended as well, and looked like they raised quite a bit of money as well. So I was at that with Councillor O'Connor, so thought we had some fun, and yeah, it was a good weekend overall. Good to see everybody out attending those events. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Flack. Councillor Berg.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Palat. I've had a very busy couple weeks, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to my normal life. I did attend, through my own private business, the International Indigenous Tourism Conference in Edmonton, but with the knowledge that I gained there is also relevant to my role as a councillor, and also with Grande Prairie Regional Tourism. And even one nice little tie-in in the evening of Grande Prairie, which I also attended, had a brief conversation with Chief Sunshine out at Horse Lake, and was discussing some Indigenous tourism things that I had picked up at that conference, and he really seemed quite intrigued. So I'm sure we're going to have a future meeting from that conversation. Also, I attended the Alberta Community Foundation's 40 Years in the Making Mixer, along with Councillor Auger. That was down at M3M downtown, and so congratulations to them on their 40th year. My big highlight, though, and I love this event. This was my second year, and as soon as it comes up on the calendar, I'm real quick to say yes. But celebrating the Black History Month Gala, which was on Saturday night. It's always a great energy in that room. It is so light, it's fun, the music is spectacular. But one highlight, and I wish I'd actually had the young ladies' names, but there were two ladies, one was 18 and one was 10. And I'm sure that they did a memorized 7-8 minute long monologue, flawlessly delivered with passion, emotion, and without any prompts, any scripts in front of them. And I was so impressed that I just know that those two young ladies are future leaders in our community. And so a great event each year is the Black History Month Gala. And so those are a few events that I attended.
Thanks, Councillor Berg. Councillor O'Connor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Plott. Attended Growing the North. I found Growing the North, anytime you can go to a convention and get a nugget, and I got a number of nuggets from that event. I attended the Peace Library System Board meeting, and that was well attended as well. And attended the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress on a movie on Architects of Hope. And in that, Councillor Auger was there with me, and Mayor Clayton brought greetings. But it was interesting to see how they looked and how they're, even 4 years into the war, are looking at rebuilding Ukraine in a better and more modern fashion. So it was a very interesting movie. Attended the evening with GP, and of course, that was a great success with all the ministers. And attended Big Brothers and Big Sisters event, and Jenna got Mike O'Connor locked up, and so Mike O'Connor got Jenna locked up. So it cost us some money, but we helped the event move along. And then we went to the Bear Creek Reveal, and that was a great night. Some, and I won't mention them all. There's many, many entertainers, but Fred Penner the McDades, Tom Cochran, Tennille Towns is coming to town. And I think we're looking forward to that. And Second-Hand Dream Car was fabulous entertaining us that night. So that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor O'Connor. Councillor O'Toole.
Thank you very much. Grande Prairie Day in Edmonton. It's awesome. We had individuals that are business owners and leaders in the community come out, and it was nice to have the politicians listen to them tell our Grande Prairie story. So that's great. Pregnancy Care Center, once again, I was with Jenna Flack, a counselor. It was sold out, and I was thinking maybe I'd buy a cake. Well, they averaged $900, and one cake sold at least 4 times. So at 900, 900, 900, 900. So the amount of money that they made was very good. Tended to Growing the North. I loved some of the great speakers that were there, and also communication with some of the people that we haven't seen in a while. And it was great to hear their story about business and their perspective on the ability to do business in Grande Prairie. 2026 Grande Prairie Air Show Committee, I attended that, and if you didn't go last year, this year is going to be bigger and more grander. And I attended the Black Veterans Honors Ceremony at Veterans Memorial Gardens, and I attended our Nighthawk board meeting, and there will be more information about that meeting in the near future. And with that, I will move on. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Councillor Auger.
You're in queue now, Mike.
Thank you. It's been quite busy. I should try to get into as many activities as possible. I was sick there for a while, but I did attend the Grande Prairie Day in Edmonton, and I really liked that because it actually shared more information to me about what's really going on with the city here. I attended to the Black History Month session, went to the Invest GP mixer. I did go to the Passionate Hearts celebration, and what I really liked about that one was they celebrated everybody that was nominated rather than just one person. So that was a little different for me, where they recognized all the people that were nominated for the roles that they were doing at that organization. Of course, I went to the Storm Board of Directors meetings. I went to the Growing the North conference for as much as I could while I was sick. I went to the Ukrainian reconstruction with Mike, and I also attended to the Black Veterans honoring ceremony. And so that's kept me quite busy for the last little while. And tomorrow night, there is a Storm game, and it's for the Indigenous Celebration Evening. And I know there's a couple of us that regularly go to hockey games, and if you guys can, I encourage you guys to try and attend tomorrow and maybe wear your jersey that you were given. And we'll see you at the game tomorrow night. That's kind of my story for today.
Thanks for that, Councillor Auger. Also, I guess for my highlights, the evening Grande Prairie was, I thought, a great success for us. Having that kind of minister reach and the premier in the room is always great. It was also good to hear some new commercial developers that are coming to Grande Prairie and the optimism that they had. And it was a nice opportunity to walk them over and connect them with some of our administration, as that's who they're going to be working with moving forward. So that was great. We attended a Maskwa funding meeting and a Grande Prairie Tourism Sports Strategy meeting out at Growing the North. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend a whole much this year as I'd like to. Got some hallway conversations, but not a lot of the sessions. I did an AB Muni orientation as I've been put on a new Policing, Justice, and Emergency Management Committee. I got to bring greetings as Deputy Mayor for the Downtown Association's AGM, and I want to just congratulate Jim Goldsack, who won the Art Ouellette Award this year. And so that's an award that they give that honors a business that demonstrates exceptional attention to detail, pride of property, and outstanding customer services, just kind of what emulates Downtown Association and the Downtown Core. And lastly, I had a GP Grande Prairie Police Commission committee and commission meeting. Some of the highlights of the commission meeting were that we're on track with our third class training recruitment graduation for next week on March 13th. The development of our record management system continues. The operational coordinator has also advanced significantly. A mutually agreed upon RCMP member transfer schedule is in place to align with GPPS recruitment and deployment timelines. This is a big piece of work, so I want to thank a lot of administration that's worked on that. A big organization with us trying to work on getting timelines dialed in when you've got bodies moving in and out is not as easy as said than done. So I appreciate the work done by Chief Lacusta and his team, as well as some of folks in our room here as well. And we also had a presentation from our Senior Strategy Advisor, Melissa Byers, providing an overview of the community safety and well-being strategy and initiatives that are coming forward, highlighting the alignment with the Police Act and the Alberta provincial priorities. And so just another thing that I'm looking forward through our Police Commission. I think it'll be another level of enhancement of transparency in our community. So looking forward to that as it rolls out more there. And those are my highlights as well. And with that, we'll bring our meeting to an end. So thanks for attending if you were here, and for watching if you're online. Take care.